How are you? Good to see you.
Oh man,
So I thought you and Anthony were traveling together. No, you guys are just meeting up.
We got.
Oh, separate cars. Okay, good.
I mean, come on, man. He's headlining, I'm co-headlining pay-per-view.
This is-
Give us 2 separate cars.
it's so exciting. It's big time, man. You can put those on if you want.
Big
Now,
time. I'm trying
is
to get
this
big
a
time like you.
fashion thing here with the one glove, Kamaru?
Oh no, actually,
No?
I take this one off so I can still work my phone. So.
Oh, are you like a germaphobe or something?
No, I'm not a germaphobe, but it's.
I understand.
You know, with these gloves, these are actually like nice special gloves
Hey,
where
look.
I can work my phone through the glove, but I can't do the thumbprint.
Sure.
So I got to be able to get in and out of the phone.
How's
so,
the weather compared to you live in Miami now? Is it
I
Miami?
live in South Florida.
Okay.
So everyone calls it Miami. South
Yeah.
Florida.
And so how do you like in the weather?
I've adapted to it. I like the weather. The humidity does get a bit annoying sometimes because after training, I come outside and just the hassle of putting my bag and my gloves all in the trunk. By that time, I'm sweating again. So I do hate that. But
Now, I saw you in Vegas, and I've told you before, you really go out on the town. When you go out, you dress, you like
my
to go out.
goodness.
So I'm wondering, how is Miami affecting you? Because that's a town that's like, is it harder to stay focused? Like if you train in Milwaukee, what else do? You train?
That's
That's
true.
probably the nicest place in the city is the gym.
Absolutely. No, I don't really go out, to be honest with you. I don't really go out where I'm at. So if I do, it's very rare. But I like to clean up. It was something that's been ingrained in me ever since I was little. When I want to go somewhere, I like to dress up. I like to clean up, smell good. I'm a hygiene kind of smell good, look,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
look good and feel good. I'm that type of guy.
You wear that is it Nigerian like clothes? What am I?
It's just an African custom. You know, different parts of Africa have different, way of dressing. They're just different cultures. The way we put on our clothes and that's mainly like the Nigerian, the West African. That's mainly how we dress with the big agbada is what we call that, and just the we do it up. Like I said, I'm Nigerian. We love style.
Did you see? Only because we're talking about Africa now. Did you see Black Panther? I don't know if you're a movie guy.
I'm after I
see
get
it?
this belt, I better be in the sequel. That's
Did you
what
see
I mean.
it?
Yes, I saw it.
Did you like it?
I absolutely love it.
That's awesome.
Isn't it about a fictional place? I'm not a big superhero.
It is.
guy.
I mean, when was the last time you heard of Wakanda on the map? Right?
It sounds awesome.
It sounds fake, but again, there's a lot of places that I would think were fake that were actually real
Absolutely.
places.
No,
Schenectady, if I didn't drive through it, I would like this bullshit. It doesn't exist.
Did you see it, Jimmy?
What?
Black Panther?
I did not.
Blasphemy.
Are you,
I know.
are you serious?
I've only seen the only movie I saw was Vice because I like Christian Bale. I have to see. I get them sent to me because I'm a member of SAG.
What are you just hiding in a closet?
You remember,
Nah, he's been
you
out
have
of the
no
closet
idea.
a long time ago. He's not.
One foot in, 1 foot out. Depends on how long the dress is. So yeah, no, I've not seen it.
First of all, I gotta
movie.
commend you guys. You guys are moving on up. I mean, look at this state of the art studio
you were
now.
with us at the
I
old one.
came to
It was
the
a
old
while
one,
ago.
and that was like,
Yeah, Jimmy.
going upstairs and
see it.
around the building,
Yeah.
and it was like, I mean, it was still official studio, still nice, but now you guys are like up in the building,
jiu-jitsu
11th
match here.
floor.
This is we like this place.
Yeah,
He's
it's
a little
lovely.
further away from us.
A little
We get
bit.
Christopher Deuce.
We have a chair for coats. There's a nice office, hustle and bustle of people. The other
Yeah,
place
love
really
it.
did look like a snuff film set. You walk up the fucking 8 flights of steps. It was just
Absolutely, and
creepy.
you got to come in the back, the side door. It looked like you guys might be filming a porno on the side or something.
And plus, this is easier to get guys too because of where we're located. It's very close to Midtown. So if you're doing other
Yeah.
press, it's just an easier place for
No,
guys
absolutely.
to come to.
I actually just did one, I think 2 blocks away from here.
You did, right? So
Yeah.
they'll double you up and have
Yeah.
you come. We're always happy to get guys in studio. It's just a different energy when somebody is here.
Especially guys we like, Kamaru. And as far as finding like a weakness in somebody, when you look at Woodley and you look at what he brings to the table, I don't want you to give any kind of game plan away, but did you see any holes there? Because the last time somebody was really able to work him over was Nate Marquardt like a fucking decade ago. How long ago was that? You can look it up. Why not?
It was a while.
I mean, so
You can give away the game plan. We'll just cut it out. We won't air it.
No,
So you
it's no. There's really no game plan. I mean, there's an outline. I call it an outline. There's an outline that you have going into a fight. Like, I know this guy has no ground, so the outline would be let's work on getting him down to the ground, because when we get him down to the ground, we have a distinct advantage there. That's kind of an outline. But for me, it's not really no game plan. Like I said, I do everything pretty well. So I'm not the greatest at anything. I'm not the best striker in the world. I'm not the best jiu-jitsu guy, but I do everything really well. Now having to mix it all, I believe in the division right now, I'm a fucking problem when it comes to mixing it all. Getting you to think about this while doing this. Think about that while doing that. I think I do that better than anybody. And with Woodley, I know he's tough. I know he's good everywhere, but I'm going in there to test his heart. We've seen his heart tested it, and we've seen him break. So I'm going in, I'm going to push those buttons. And right now, I don't think anybody does that better than I do. I'm going to push those buttons, and we're going to see who breaks first.
And you're the co-main, and the fight right before you is Ben Askren against Robbie Lawler. What is Askren's problem with you? I don't understand what this whole, he said that people would call you Marty. Was it just a nickname because people couldn't say your name, or is he lying?
Yeah, it's funny. I talked about this in my last interview. Marty came about when I was in high school. My coach was trying to get me to wrestle. And I didn't know anything about wrestling. I never heard of wrestling. Never. So the only wrestling that I knew was WWE, Stone Cold hitting people with chairs. So he's like, why don't you come in and try wrestling? I'm like, shit you not. My answer, nah, I don't want to get hit with a chair. Nah, I don't want to do that.
How old were you?
I think I was 14.
Oh, wow.
13, 14, about to turn 14. I'm like, nah, I don't want to get hit with a chair. I won't do that. And I'm 5'1", 103 pounds, soaking wet. And he's like, why don't you come in and try it? I'm like, no. So I still didn't know what he was talking about. So then I eventually went in to try wrestling. And he asked me what my name was that year, that freshman year. I went in to try it, but I wasn't able to compete. And I went through a couple of practices, and that was it. Then the following year, my sophomore year, I just decided I wasn't going to go out for football or basketball. I was going to wrestle. So you get rolled. You have to read the roll sheet. My full name is Kamaru. So he's going through the list, and the coach, the fuck is this? Who is that? So he's like, Kamaru, Marty, who is this? And I'm like, that's me, coach. And he goes, no way in hell I'm calling you that. You Marty, you look like a Marty. I'm gonna call you Marty. So he starts calling me Marty. I'm this little 5'1" kid, you know. I'm like, all right, sure. I don't care. It's a nickname, you know. So he starts calling me that. Next thing you know, the team starts calling me that. And now the thing is, when you have a guy with a name, a nickname, if that guy sucks, and he's on the team, sucks, he dies out. He's gone. He's over with. You don't hear about that name anymore. The guy's gone. He sucks. It didn't make any waves. But when a guy starts to make waves and the guys are doing big things and he's starting to excel, get better and better, you start to hear that name more and more. So that name just kind of stuck. Next thing you know, I'm competing in the state tournament. Now you're starting to hear Marty a little more. And that Marty kid. And then now college coaches are calling, like, hey, we're trying to get this kid, recruiting this kid. And they're like, who's this? You have that Kamaru kid in your... And my coach's like, who, Marty? So then now they start Marty. So now they start calling me Marty. Now I go to college, and now the team's starting to call me Marty because of them. And the only way Ben Askren ever heard of me, because he was older than me, is because I was doing my thing in college. I start beating kids up, and then it's like, oh, that Marty kid, that's that Division II kid from Nebraska Kearney that's beating the shit out of everyone. So now he knows, and so he's just trying to run with it. He was looking for something to just kind of jump on to kind of, get his name in the picture and start, pulling some strings. But it's not, I don't care about it.
Yeah.
It makes me, it's not a big deal. Like, I coached season 14 of The Ultimate Fighter. Jason Mayhem Miller started calling me Kush. Everybody in the house called me Kush. To this day, Dennis Bermudez calls me Kush.
No, Kush sounds a little cooler than Marty. I bet hey, Kush, you're like, I wish that shit started with the coach back in the day. Hey, but I guarantee this, even back when you were wrestling and up until now, when you're meeting a nice lady, you're not saying you're Marty, you're saying you're Kamaru. That's
Yes,
a
absolutely.
And you probably say your whole name, almost like when Gian, he doesn't say it's John.
Right.
He goes Gian or G,
Gian.
whatever the hell
Says
name is.
his,
I can't
whatever
pronounce
his
it.
original Italian name is.
Yeah, he puts a little swing on it. Gian.
With the whole Nigerian, like, gear, you're out, you're at a club, you're smelling good, like you said, and then a girl comes up, what's your name? Marty. They're like, what the fuck? The girl's not going to believe it. It's going to be like, that's a fake name.
Well, when I meet someone of any importance to me, or someone I want to know or introduce myself to, that Marty's not my name. That's not on my ID or birth certificate. Like, and that's a big thing too. My father, because when I started wrestling and I started to get good and people would talk about me, my dad didn't like that. My dad, a Nigerian dude, he was a major in the army. My dad didn't like that.
That you had this Americanized name.
Yeah, it's like, why are they calling you that? That's not your name, And it was just a name. I'm like, that's just a nickname. And so he was okay, but he didn't necessarily like that. So when I introduce myself to someone, I don't introduce myself as that. Like, my name is Kamaru.
So your dad was, he was a military guy.
Yeah, my dad was a major in the Army.
How about your dad?
My dad?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know your dad?
No.
You never met him?
Oh, yeah, I met him. He's not around.
Oh, okay. So,
Hey, any kids or no?
Yes, I have a 4.5-year-old daughter.
You got scared with saying the age. You're like, oh, that's
A
beautiful.
4.5-year-old daughter, and man, she is my road dog. If you never seen and she consumed, like, I was always one of those guys. My deal was I wanted 3 boys.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, I want 3 boys. You can fight it out with them, because this is the thing. There's gonna come a certain point in life where boys are gonna challenge you. It's the actual thing. They're gonna challenge dad. I'm like, I'll fight it out with them. We'll get it cracking. And I was like, yeah, I want 3 boys because you could talk to boys in a certain type of way. You could be tough on them.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want a girl. I don't want to have to deal with all this other stuff. I don't want it. I don't want it. And then it's like, whoop, lo and behold, it's a girl. And I remember when I heard on the phone, I was like, I got quiet. And she's like, hello? And I got quiet. I was like, oh my God. All right, yeah, we'll figure it out. But then when she came, man, I needed it.
Yeah.
Because I was so hardcore, especially even with training. I was one of those, this is what I want to do. I want to be a champion. This is the formula. You're just going to train and work hard and work on these techniques, and that's it. I didn't want no other distractions. I'm not a big drinker, not a big partier, none of that. But that was just it. Boom, boom, boom. And Rashad used to always try to get me like, hey, come on out. Come, let's go out. Let's go to this one spot. Let's go hang out for a second. I'm like, no, I got to train in the morning. And he used to always tell me, man, you got to work on the balance. You got to work on balance. It's balance. You got to balance this. And I was just like, yeah, all right. And then he'll go out, and I'd be in the house just wanting to train. And then when my daughter came, it was like it mellowed me out. It was like a shot that I needed to. It just woke something else up in me. And like Anthony said, now I had someone who needed me. It wasn't just for me what I wanted to do. It wasn't just me. I chose to do this sport, but now it's like someone needs me. Not only do I want to be successful for myself, but I have someone that's dependent on me now as well. So added motivation.
it's like being self-employed. I mean, you guys are your own bosses technically because you if you want to fight, you fight, and if you don't, you just do something else.
Yeah.
So now you have somebody you have to fight to make a living
True,
for. So I guess it is a motivating factor.
No matter what Colby says about Kamaru, and even Ben Askren for that matter,
Sure.
they can get paid for
They
it.
can sell it,
And
yeah.
it could be a win-win because Kamaru gets to put his fist in somebody's face.
Absolutely.
Anthony's never going to get that chance with Colby. They're not in the same weight class. So it's like, dude, that's why I get it. Then you want to sell a fight, but hey, man, you're dealing with professional fighters here. These guys aren't pussies, man. You're going to run into these guys. You got to be held accountable. Like that's
Like against Verdum.
I totally understood
absolutely.
when Kamaru, and I brought up the Dana when I talked to him. But Dana thinks I'm fucking nuts anyway. But when Kamaru seen him, he went up to him because it's almost like, all right, we're in an age now where nobody has to man up.
Absolutely.
Nobody has to if I don't believe Ben, and I like Ben I don't know him personally, but he seems almost like an Eddie Haskell. If you know who Eddie Haskell, that's my before somebody's time here. The only guys my age will be laughing because it was like Leave It to Beaver, and he's like the nice to the parents, but he's really like kind of like just a voice. You know Eddie Haskell?
Yeah.
Okay. But so he's kind of like, you can't really, Colby's just douchey. Like Colby is just kind of like, dude, I'm gonna smack that douchebag. But Ben, I don't get that from. Ben's almost like a tongue-in-cheek, like like a smart ass. But I do understand, hey, somebody's like, dude, don't mention my name. Who the fuck are you to mention my name? I understand where you're coming from.
Absolutely. And this is, that's a good, the thing is, they're almost the same guy. But the difference between both of them is Ben has managed to do what Colby couldn't do, which is for Colby, you can't be the tough guy troll. A lot of trolls don't relate to that because a lot of the trolls are the fat, lazy slobs behind that can't do it to you in person, but they're gonna hide behind the keyboard and talk shit. They're those guys, and who do a lot of them look more like? Ben or Colby? Colby's actually looks like it's a guy that trains, got muscles, can actually kind of fight. Or you got the guy that has a grandma body with the bushy curly hair. I shit you not. You see that poster? There's that poster. Can you pull up that poster of that the UFC made of the 4 headlining fights? it's Anthony and John, me and Woodley,
Robbie and Ben.
Robbie and Ben. If you scroll, you'll see the top.
There, look to the left.
five.
Actually, to the left.
No.
That's
Go
not
up.
the one?
No. Go up. It's all of us all on one.
By the way,
You
I've
can
heard a lot
you
of
can scroll
insulting
up.
things said by fighters. Never grandma body. That's the first time I've heard it.
You can scroll up and find it, and it's just like you look at it. It's like, what the fuck? Does this guy even fucking train? Like, what is this?
What do you think his success? What do you think his success is due to? Is it to the caliber of guys he's fighting, or is it that he's that good in the one area, almost like Damian Maia? He's that good in jiu-jitsu. He's that good with the wrestling that he's able to do that to everybody. Or is it the caliber of guys he's fighting?
Who's been? It's a mixture of everything. Like, but the thing is, everyone's like, oh, he's a fight. This guy's not a fighter. That's not a fight. When you have one, like, you either great at jiu-jitsu or you're a really good, damn good wrestler. He's a damn good wrestler. I take nothing away from him. I'm a wrestler, and that's one of the biggest things. You earn respect in wrestling, and he's a good wrestler. I don't take anything away from him. Like, could he beat some of the best wrestlers on the planet right now, like Jordan Burroughs and these guys? No way. But in his time, he was a damn good wrestler. He went to the Olympics. He went. How many Olympics does he have? Medals does he have and I have? Guess what? We both have 0. It does. Yeah, he's a good wrestler, and even to this day, he's a wrestler. Like, when was the last time you saw him eat a punch and trade with someone?
No, he don't do that.
Never.
No.
He don't do that. So don't call him a fighter. He's not a fighter. He's a wrestler that happened to have wrestled all these fighters to where, yeah, at that point, those fighters weren't at the caliber. Like, the best guys he's beat is Douglas Lima and who else? Karishnikov, I think. And these guys weren't at the level they're at now. And, so, yeah, it's a mixture of both, and he just wrestles everybody. Now, what happens when you can't take a guy down to wrestle him, and this guy's hitting you in the face? What happens?
Now, he's fighting. Well, we're going to maybe find out. I mean, Robbie Lawler does well. I remember his fight with Josh Koscheck, man. Well, he did well. He gets I think he got the butterfly guard. He got back up. And how do you see that one going?
Man, and me speaking from a guy who's training with Robbie now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But,
it's Robbie put in the work. He did. A lot of people, and Robbie's kind of he's a special guy. He's different. He doesn't really share a lot. Doesn't really talk a lot. He'll be in a room right now. You wouldn't know it's Robbie Lawler. He'll be in the corner, quiet guy. But that's the guy that can really do you some harm.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how he does, because when someone has ACL surgery, coming back from that is difficult. And so he's been pushing weight. He's been throwing some weight around, and he's big and strong. And I hope this fight lit the fire that I think it lit under him to get back. And if that's the case, man, that's a dangerous guy to have to fight. And we're gonna see this wise ass get punched in the mouth pretty soon.
How's it been working with Hoost?
Hoof. Henry
Hooft, yeah.
Henry Hooft, man. Henry Hooft is a great coach. I mean, he's when I got in, it was like the perfect coach that you needed to start, because he's so basic. I mean, of course, he knows all these. He was a world champion kickboxer.
Yeah.
He knows all these amazing kicks and things like that you can do, but he keeps it so fundamentally sound, because at the end of the day, we all know when you're tired as hell, you don't want to be doing a spinning back kick. You don't want to be doing all this crazy stuff when you're gassed out. Both guys are tired. You go back to the basic, the jab, the 1-2, and he keeps it so basic to where you can learn it quickly, and that's just kind of how I started. I'm very fundamental. I do a lot of things that are just basic, but I work on it well enough to where it's gonna work when it needs to work.
And being the champions, even though they're the champions and you want what they have, there is a lot more pressure on them, because they're trying to retain something against two guys who are extremely hungry to get it. I always think it's harder to keep a belt than it is to get it, because it's like the motivating factor of fighting a guy who's got what you want. It seems like it's a lot more.
Absolutely, and a wise guy used to always say this, and this was when I was just coming around and I started getting into the sport a little more. Is we'd always roll into town, and Burt Watson would be in the back, and Burt used to give the pep talks before the weigh-ins on the scale, and Burt used to always say, it's a lot harder to stay here than it is to get here. And the same thing with the champions now. There's a huge gap from challenger to champion, huge gap. And not just on the pay scale. I'm talking opportunities, the different things that are presented to you as a champion that you never see as a challenger. And so these guys are fighting to keep that alive. Like Tyron's trying to fight that to keep his music career alive right now.
Oh, shit, don't get me started with that.
Hey, ain't nobody trying to hear his mixtape if he's just another regular fighter. Oh, that's just that whack ass fighter trying to promote a music career. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. But
you like his song?
it's a different ring when it's that's that UFC champion.
Did you hear his song? Did you like it?
Yeah, I heard it.
I heard
both of them.
What is it? I'll beat your ass.
I'll beat your ass. I mean, this is the thing.
It's very catchy.
The only reason it's not that catchy.
I didn't quite enjoy it as much as Matt did.
Yeah.
Matt
Are you
enjoyed it a
sure?
lot. Matt enjoyed it a lot more than everyone.
I'm gonna
beat
be
your
honest.
ass.
The only reason that really picked up steam is because it was something new that he was trying, but it was also with that whole Darren Till hype, and then he went out there and actually beat Darren Till up. Then he was like, and then Wiz Khalifa's on it too, another popular rapper. So it's like, all right. But then his new song, you heard the new one that he dropped?
No, what is
it? It's called
Chris the producer.
Blow.
Shit, man.
I think it's called
Play that thing.
Blow or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if we can play that one because he's featured on it. It's
Oh,
somebody else.
yeah?
He's featured on it, and it's like, I'm just like, man, you wrote those lyrics? Like, are you serious?
Well, listen,
Come
man.
on, bro, you could have done better than that.
There's
Oh,
something,
they're not great.
There's something about being, that you have no net underneath you, He has a net underneath. He could be the next Ice-T. Maybe not. That might be a little Ice Cube. An ice. Give me any other ice. Vanilla ice? I don't know. Listen, I like that. I do like the beat your ass song.
Yeah.
Because he'll beat your ass in real life. He'll beat your ass on TV. I don't know, not your ass.
Look
Just
at you.
in
He
general.
knows
I know
everything.
it. Don't get me
Look at him.
started.
All the words.
Don't get me started.
know the words
This
and
motherfucker don't like
everything.
what I sing. I gotta learn to love the way I sing. They call me the new song.
No, I'm not saying, I'm all for him looking for different avenues to push his brand and really provide for himself and his family, but what I'm getting at is there's a big difference as far as being a challenger, having those opportunities, than being a champion and having those opportunities. And those guys are fighting to keep that while we're fighting to get there.
Yeah, and also those guys those are kind of the guys that everyone is focusing on. So no
Absolutely.
matter what you're training for, there's always Tyron's got to be in the back of your mind, or John, or whoever's the champion has to be somewhere lurking back there. And they just have to prepare for you guys as you come up. So I wish you guys both luck. They're telling us we have to wrap up with you, but you're both two really nice guys, and I want to see you both do really well in these fights. I like John and I like Tyron too, though. That's called covering your bases in case they come in.
100%.
But what a great, this is UFC 235. It is this Saturday night. The main event, of course, is Anthony against John for the light heavyweight title, and Kamaru fighting Tyron for the welterweight championship. What a great couple of fights. And then Robbie Lawler and Ben Askren. This is just an amazing card.